You ever just kind of want to hide out in your room? I mean, I think a lot of us have. And maybe you feel like this a lot. I don't know. For a bunch of reasons. Maybe you just need alone time. Maybe you don't feel like interacting with other people. There's lots of reasons. In today's 5-minute devotional, Jesus' disciples are hiding out for a very specific reason. You remember, Jesus has been arrested as a criminal, executed, and they're afraid that they're going to get in trouble too because they were his followers. Basically, could be also tried for rebellion. And although some weird things just happened at his tomb, they still don't understand what that means. That Mary seems like she saw him, but I mean, do they really believe her? And, John and Peter saw that his body was missing, but what does that mean? Anyway, so here we are in John chapter 20, verses 19 to 23 today. Now it was evening on that day, the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were together, due to fear of the Jewish leaders. Jesus came and stood in their midst. And he said to them, "Peace be to you." And when he had said this, he showed them both his hands and his side. The disciples then rejoiced when they saw the Lord. So Jesus said to them again, "Peace be to you. Just as the Father has sent me, I also send you." And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive the sins of any, their sins have been forgiven them. If you retain the sins of any, they have been retained." So they're hiding in a locked room because they're afraid that they're also going to get in trouble like Jesus was. So they are there in a locked place, and somebody shows up that they didn't let in and tells them that everything's okay. And it's Jesus. Apparently now, after he's been raised from the dead, he can do stuff like this, to just show up in a locked room. But it takes some convincing that he is who he says he is, so he shows them the wounds that he would have received at his death, and they're convinced and they're happy to see him. But what I want to think about today is the fact that they had locked themselves in a place out of fear. And even though they locked themselves in this place, Jesus was still able to get to them. The resurrected Jesus was able to come and bring and speak peace into their hiding place. So that's the first thing that he does, is he brings to them peace, and he brings his own presence to them, even though they've locked themselves away. And the second thing is he breathes his Spirit on them. And they receive the Holy Spirit, and they're able then to go out of where they've locked themselves away, and he sends them forth to go out and live for him, to actually be his representatives, to go into the world, to be sent out just as he was sent. So, how can this relate to us, who might sometimes just want to lock ourselves away from everything on the outside? Well, Jesus can come in and bring his peace, and he can remind us that he has already filled us with his Holy Spirit. And he can send us out to be his presence in the world and to be with us, whether we're inside of that locked room or whether we're outside, to be with us forever.